So our game essentially works, it just could be made a little bit more exciting. So if you're feeling creative, I would definitely recommend trying these bits out for yourself rather than following this along on the video. So try and make it so the boxes are different colours each time. Try and make it so that they appear in different positions each time. And try and make it so that occasionally the box comes up to be a circle. And that'll just shake it up a little bit, make it a little bit more exciting. You might also want to experiment with the time. So 5 seconds is possibly quite a long time. You might want to make that a bit shorter or even a bit longer. It's up to you. So I'm going to give you a few moments to go away and try out some things for yourself, and then you're welcome to watch what I do in a minute. All right, I hope that went well. Here we go. So I'm going to start by setting a random color. Now, setting a random color is actually a reasonably complicated problem. So I've gone to a website called Stack Overflow, which is a fantastic site, and as you get into your web development career, you're definitely going to come across it. It's essentially a question and answer site where anyone can answer questions from coders, and then the answers are rated. So when you do a search in Google for some issue that you've got with code, it's quite likely that you'll end up at Stack Overflow. So this guy wanted a random color generator, which is brilliant because that's exactly what I want. So I'm going to copy this function, and I'm just going to talk you through how it works. So let's copy it there first of all. We'll do some nice indents because we want to keep our code pretty. Pop that in there. Okay. So what's going on here? We're creating a string called letters. We're creating an array called letters, which is taken up from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and A, B, C, D, E, F. So they're the numbers and letters that we use in the HTML color codes. Now this split function splits the string, so this bit here is a string, it's just a set of numbers and letters, and it splits it into an array. So if you've got a set of words, for example, then you could use the split space command, and then that would split them at the space in between each word, and you would get an array filled with all of the words in that sentence. If you use the split command with nothing in between, then it just splits it in each character. So our letters array is going to be, the first one will be 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, etc., then A, B, C, D, E, F. So we've got an array containing all of the different letters and numbers that we can use. Then we've got a string called color, which starts with a hash. So you'll remember that the HTML color codes all start with a hash symbol. And then we've got a for loop, which is great because it's always nice to recap things we've seen before. So it starts with I being 0 and then goes up to I being 5. Remember, this is less than 6, so I can't actually get to 6, and then goes up 1 by 1 each time. And then what we're doing is we're adding to the color string. So this plus equals means that we're taking the color string as it exists and then adding to it, and we're taking an item from the letters, which is this array, the array containing the numbers and the letters there, and we're doing it using the random instruction that we've seen before. So math.random times 15, because there are 15 of these things, is that right? Possibly 16, yeah, 16 I think of these things, and this rounds it to the nearest whole number. So that will then take a random number or letter and add it to the color. So let's have a quick look at what that produces first. So alert get random color. Okay, great. So we've got a hash, and then we've got a set of numbers and letters randomly produced from that string. Brilliant. And this is going to produce a random color for us. So if we set the style of this box to have that background color before we create it, then it should be a random color each time. So let's copy that, get element by ID, box, style, background color equals, and we want to set it equal to get random color. and that makes good use of functions because we don't want to have to write that code out each time. So it just links back to this nice function up here. So let's see if that works. Hey, great. So we've got a blue one. I'll just click on that. And got a reddish one. Excellent. So we've achieved our first goal of getting a randomly colored box. So the second goal is to make it either a box or a circle, and doing that randomly. So I'll give you a quick challenge, a few seconds to go away and think about that. Pause the video and then come back. All right, did you manage it? Here's how I would do it. First of all, we'll remind ourselves how to make a circle. All it is a single style. So let's do it with JavaScript. So again, document get element by ID, box, style. And how do we do it? We use the border radius command. And my box is 200 pixels. So we want the border radius to be 100 pixels. So that should make it a circle every time. Yeah, great. But we only want to do that half the time. So, very simple. If math.random is greater than 0.5, then we'll make it into a circle. So remember, math.random produces a random number between 0 and 1. So if we split that in half, then it will either happen or not 50% of the time. So that should work, but bear in mind that we need to set the border radius back to 0 if the random number isn't greater than 0.5. Otherwise, we'll just get circles every time. So we need an else command. And then inside there, I'll copy and paste that, and we want to set the border radius to 0. Let's just try that out. So we've got a circle first time, then a square, and a square. Another square, should get a circle eventually. There we go. Okay, great. So we've got circles and squares. The last challenge then is to position it randomly. So I'll give you a moment to pause the video and try that out for yourself. All right, how'd it go? Did you get there? I think the way I would do it would be, first of all, to set the position of the circle. So we'll call it position relative. And then we can set the top and left margins so that it moves the circle around. We could do it with positions, or we could do it with margins, actually. It would work well either way. Okay. Let's give this a try. So again, we want to get the element box by its ID. And this time we want to set top to, now can we do this all in one go? It's probably best to do it in a separate, with a separate variable. So we'll have a variable called top, and we'll start with a math.random, and I think this is somewhere around 400 pixels. So I'm going to have a random margin of 0 to 300 pixels and see how that works. If you've got a different screen size, then you can try a different number. So top equals top times 300. And I'll do a similar thing with the left margin. Though maybe we'll make that a little bit bigger because my screen is taller than it is wide. So that's our top margin, that's our left margin. So we're going to want to set the top to our variable top and plus pixels. And then we'll do a similar thing for left plus pixels. Okay, let's see how that goes. Great, that's worked. So just to finish it off, we're going to make it look a little bit more attractive and maybe have a line of instruction so that someone who comes across this game would know what to do. So first of all, I'm going to choose a nice sans serif font. I'll go for Verdana. And we'll apply this font to the whole document, so the whole body of the document. So font family is going to be that. That's a bit nicer. Let's put a default value in here. Not attempted yet, so that we don't have that sort of strange gap before they've had a go. There we go. And we could even have an S there, couldn't we? But then that would look strange with the default value, so no, that's no good. Maybe we could set the default value to 0. And then we'll start off with a time of 0 seconds. At least that'll give them an idea of what they're getting into, and then a time here. I'm liking this game. Great, and then maybe a header. So we'll pop in an H1. Test your reactions. Great. And then a quick line of instruction. So click on the boxes and circles as quickly as you can. And then perhaps we'll make the time bold. So we'll give that a class of bold, and then set a style there of font weight is bold. I think that makes it stand out a little bit. Okay. So you've created your first JavaScript game. I definitely would recommend playing around with this a little bit. So maybe you can create some different shapes. You could possibly even get some images appearing there rather than just blocks of color. You can play with the time it takes to get the boxes to appear. As I said, 5,000 there is what I've gone for, but you can try anything that you like. You can add some other text here. You might want to put a border around the whole thing, or just change the style a little bit, restrict the colors to certain colors, whatever you like. Play around with it, and please do give me a link to your final game in the forums.